Craig, probably I know you're a very positive guy. That was probably your worst performance for the year in all respects. At this time of year, how concerning is the trajectory that your team's going on?
I apologise to our Magpie Army and our that's a disappointing performance. You can't sugarcoat that. We owe Steele Sidebottom way more than that too. Like he's a legend of the footy club. We're hurting. That one really hurt. Just a lack of system, and then a lack of fight. Lack of effort. Sometimes at the same time, which leaves us really vulnerable. And anyone that's watched us over the last few years would say, they're basically, they're glued together by system, and then you have great effort, and then we're okay. But not tonight.
Probably your last 6 scores, if you go back to the Brisbane half-time of the Brisbane game, it's probably since that point it's just gone downhill, hasn't it?
Yeah. No, well, I'll just deal in this game. Let's just stay here. We just had some really poor efforts at times. The aerial on the goal line is just really poor. Look, this is the reality of what we've got right now. Like I've always said to our players, nothing's permanent. Nothing's permanent. Only if we want it to be. But we'll be judged on the full term, I'd like to think. But right now, we've got to get our system back in check, because it didn't really matter who played, and magnet, move that part, and the system, defence and all the other parts. But we're going to glue that back together.
I know you said you don't look at system, so you don't look at form from previous weeks, but that system that you spoke about tonight, was that something new? Was that something you saw for the first time for a long time tonight?
Well, I think for a long time I don't recall us having that poor of connection in the way we move the ball and in the way we defend the ground. Credit to Hawthorn, they were always going to challenge us in major parts of the game. It doesn't matter who you play this time of year. You're playing top 8 teams or more, that you give them a chance to play to their strengths. You're going to get hurt, and we got hurt really bad.
What impact did losing how?
I just don't want to make excuses. It rocked us. It did, but it was right in front of us. It rocked us, and it rocked some of our staff. It was, but I don't want excuses. But we hope he's okay. I hope his family's okay too. Those things aren't great when you're watching live, and hope you're okay, buddy.
What is the initial? Is he all right?
I'm not sure. My understanding he's going to get scans, but I don't know yet. I can't comment on that.
Just for the third time in 4 weeks now without Jeremy down there, the back lines are really disorganised and under the pump. That must be just very concerning.
Yeah, it is. But there's some 3 guys flying at the one ball, spalling at the same time is not system, and we've worked on that all pre-season. So there's desperation, and then there's desperation at I got the ball and I'm going to spall and I'll be the guy. No method in that. And poor Darcy Cameron's sitting under the ball, and everyone's letting the man fly and take mark of the year in his head. That's not system. So those things we can fix. The effort stuff is. I'd like to think that's an anomaly. That hasn't been there for us in that regard for. I can't remember when we had maybe round 0 when we were old and slow. Yeah. Because everyone starts on the bench in our team, and no one's bigger than an individual. And he's one of our leaders, and it's just subtle. It's nothing major at all. As everyone takes a turn. Josh started on the bench last week, and I think it was a pretty cool thing.
He looked like he was getting some treatment to his neck. Is there any injury there?
No, my short medical meeting says that everyone's okay at the moment, but we'll have to wait and see. Yes, mate.
Craig, the intensity tonight by the Hawks, they really brought the heat early, which really put you on the back foot, particularly with your handball game, which has been a feature, but that was your strength a number of weeks ago, but now it seems to have become a bit of a weakness.
Yeah, that's fair. I know we're handballing backwards under pressure, which is, my problem becomes yours, I'll give it to you type thing. But, we can pick holes in all of our game, really, if you want to. You can go through lots of things, but It's about finding the things that we can turn around quickly. Like I said this before the game, if we didn't review anything, this is the question I ask the coaches straight away most weeks. If we don't review anything, what's permanent? What's going to be there next week? No, that's the things we have to get to work on.
And also that contested ball element, which has been the feature that Hawthorn really controlled that game right from the outset.
Well, mostly on the outside of clearance.
Yeah.
We lost post clearance, so post contested ball by 20 odd, I think. So, yeah, sorry.
Collingwood only had 42 tackles for the game.
Yeah.
In a game where you went down by 64 points.
No, well, that comes to the effort thing. You're 114,000 members. You expect a certain amount of effort, and we didn't have it. So you get disappointed with that. And our tackle pressures, but that's because we get bodies in the wrong position, and then we don't move the ball inside 50 well and don't connect. And then there's more than just one layer to pressure, but that's certainly something we'll dial into. And that's something that we put that jumper on. There's an expectation that we represent it better than what we did tonight.
Obviously, you leaked a lot of marks inside 50 tonight. I think it was 18, and you're obviously up against probably the most ominous forward line next week. Without obviously Jeremy, are you confident the back line can turn things around to it?
Yeah, well, the game for me was really high transition. It's a danger game against the Hawks. You want to play that for 120 odd minutes, and we didn't connect. One thing I'll say is when we get behind, we want to chase. 6 goals is not enough for me for our fans to watch at home. I don't know how many kept watching right through the end. We'd like to fight to the end so they never turn it off. I think that's historic. Tonight they might have turned it off a bit early, which disappoints us. But that's a high transition game. We had a short turnaround. Those things will challenge you. Yep.
You really embrace that Adelaide challenge next week as a
base setters. We have to, don't we?
Yeah.
Judge us on the full term, and judge us on our response, and that's that'll create a headline. But bring it on. We've got to turn up. Not just because we're going to Adelaide and who we play. It's just because that's what we want to do. We want to be a team that turns up every week. Nothing's permanent. Nothing's permanent. I never believed in form, and I never believed in confidence, because my next action will be the one that decides if I'm confident or form-wise. So we coach that hard, but we've got to glue our system back together, and we've got a full week to do that. And 19 20 100 game players, they know how to play their role, so we've got to glue them back together quickly.
Can you explain some of the way players are playing? If you don't believe in confidence or form from an external point of view, you think it must be confidence?
Yeah. See, confidence is an outcome. Form's an outcome. We live in process. You judge us on outcomes, we judge ourselves on process. So you come to a stoppage and you're out of the position, we go, hey, come on, what are you doing in that position? So you start to think more than do. And then we have systems in place where you go, hey, you're out of position, hey, come over here, mate, I need you there. So then when you go quiet, you go internal. So we do process. So we come back to minute and seconds. So we lost a few minutes and seconds tonight, but we've got to stay present to that. When you start to think outcome and expectation, then you're not doing. You're thinking. We want them to play. So we're confident we can turn those things around.
Do you think they're drifting into outcome?
No doubt. You can see it. And I call it out when I see it. No doubt. So we've got to live in process, and we're going to get better every day, and we turn up on Monday this week with a big smile on the face, and let's get better, as we have done for a number of years now.
How much does that, the system you're talking about, not being, how much does that relate to all those many unforced errors that are made by such senior players? Are they linked in a way?
Oh, I start to ask the same question. You see some incredibly experienced guys making unforeseen skill errors, but then again, I think they're overthinking potentially at times. So we've got to get out of their way to allow them to flow. And decisions can be made. Like if I've got the ball in hand and the ground doesn't look like who am I going to kick it to? Then you second guess yourself too. But then not give enough credit to Hawthorn either. Their pressure and the way they play the game. This is a tough game to play. We've got to back our system in. It served us well. And under pressure, under adversity, go back to what you know and go do your job. And it's up to me to glue them together and our coaches to glue them together and take responsibility for what we did tonight.
You said when you go fly, you're getting turned and you're getting to your head. So what can you do to sort of change that mindset within a week? I mean,
So easy. Like if you're quiet, talk. That's like 15 years of doing development. Players that tell me when they're out of form and out of confidence, I go, well, what do you do when you're when you have confidence and have form? Just do that. Well, I'm quiet when I've got no confidence. Well, be loud. I don't go for my marks. Well, go for your marks. You know, I tackle when I've got confidence. Tackle. See their actions, not thoughts. It's right in front of us. Right in front of us.
Do you remain supremely confident what this season can achieve for
Yep.
this team?
Yeah, I do, because we've got trust. And but again, we'll be judged on the full length of that. We won't live in outcome. We're going to live in process, minute by minute, and there's still lots of minutes left as far as I'm aware, and we'll make the most of those.